Hey movie lovers, what's going on? I'm your host Joss. Welcome back to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. Make sure you follow us outside of this screen. All of our social media links are down below. Also stick around until the end because I handpick some comments and respond to them, and it might be one of yours. As for today's video, we hear about celebrity breakups all the time. We often find ourselves picking a side in the breakup based on what we read in the tabloids. But today we are not putting the blame on a person, but we are mostly blaming the movies. Here's today's list of top 10 movies that shattered celebrity relationships. Starting off our list at number 10 is Green Lantern. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively seem to be the perfect couple these days, looking all cute and stuff all over the media with their perfect looking kids. I'm not jealous or anything. But their relationship was a bit of a tangled story in the beginning. The two of them met when they were working together on the movie Green Lantern, which is when it was suspected they had a thing for each other. Paparazzi kept getting pictures of them being all cozy together while filming, and they were often seen hanging around New York. Here comes the tangles. Ryan was actually married to Scarlett Johansson at the time, and Blake was in a relationship with her Gossip Girl love Penn Badgley. They always denied the accusation and claimed to be just friends, but it caused a lot of controversy for the relationships, which both eventually ended. Shortly after filming ended, Lively broke up with Penn in 2010, and later in 2011 Scarlett and Ryan got divorced. Coincidence? I think not. Blake and Ryan ended up getting married in 2012 and are still going strong. It's a shame that it took a failed marriage to get there though. At number 9 is Dreamhouse. Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz met on the set of Dreamhouse and were co-stars and lovers throughout their time filming together. However, it was a huge scandal because they were both with other people at the time, Daniel being engaged to his partner. Reports said they were both having affairs, which is probably why they ended their relationships with their partners before the movie even hit theaters. This movie not only ruined one relationship, but two, which is a huge blow. When speaking about it, they don't come out and admit that the movie is what ended the relationships, but Rachel speaks about what she was doing wrong even before meeting Daniel. She said, I quote, "I worried about so many things and it was hard for me to feel happy or understand what made me happy. So I guess when she met Daniel, he made her happy." Shortly after filming ended, Rachel and Craig went public as a couple and were married just 7 months later. Next up at number 8 is Days of Thunder. The classic 1990 sport movie was filled with a lot of drama, not only in the script but in the personal life of the actors. When the movie began filming, Tom Cruise was married to Mimi Rogers. He took the lead in the NASCAR movie and starred alongside the beautiful Nicole Kidman. Apparently Tom was already having some relationship issues with Mimi when he started filming the movie, but his eyes for Nicole Kidman ended up being the nail in the coffin. His on-set love affair with Nicole caused a whole whirlwind in Hollywood. She was just 22 years old at the time and said that her jaw dropped the moment she laid eyes on him. Tom and Mimi ended up getting a divorce just 1 month into the production process, and Tom and Nicole married less than 1 year after meeting, so Tom was clearly wasting no time. The love affair was making headlines, but Nicole never had an issue admitting her love for him. She once told Vanity Fair, I quote, "He basically swept me off my feet. I fell madly, passionately in love, and as happens when you fall in love, my whole plan in terms of what I wanted for my life, I was like, forget this. This is it. I was consumed by it willingly." And so were all the media outlets. Swiping the number 7 spot is Geely. You remember that random crime romance movie that starred Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck? You actually might not remember because it was a total flop. The 2003 movie got a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes and only earned back $7.3 million of its $54 million budget. But one thing that was gained from this movie was a romance between the two actors. However, this ended the relationship between Jennifer Lopez and Chris Judd. Back in the day, the pop star was married to the dance and choreographer who fell in love on the set of her Love Don't Cost a Thing music video. But they came to an end when she later starred in Geely and began having a little thing for Ben, or so they say. Lopez ended up filing for a divorce in order to pursue a relationship with Affleck, and the only reason people say this is because of the timeline and how quickly she went from her marriage to another relationship. They ended in 2012, and not long after, Jen and Ben began dating publicly. Shortly into dating, they were engaged, showing off the $2.5 million ring, but the engagement was called off in 2004 before they ever got married, so there was no real winner in this situation. Up next at number 6 is House of Wax. Yes, the god-awful movie that Paris Hilton tried to make an acting career out of. At the time the movie was filmed, Chad Michael Murray was married married to his One Tree Hill co-star Sophia Bush. He was considered a heartthrob at the time, as was Sophia, and it seemed like they were a perfect match. One Tree Hill fans went crazy. They loved that their characters on the show fell in love off screen too. But their love affair didn't last long after Chad starred in House of Wax with Paris Hilton. Reports were made saying that Paris and Chad hooked up during their time together on set, despite the fact that he was married. It didn't take long for rumors to spread, and the press jumped on the love triangle story. Sophia ended up filing for divorce, and during an interview she was asked about the situation and she replied with, I quote, "That's such an interesting question, but my mother once said to me that if you don't have anything nice to say, not to say anything at all." Boom. My mom says the same thing. Halfway through our list at number 5 is Proof of Life. Another high profile couple that crashed and burned because of a movie was Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid. Meg starred alongside Russell Crowe when filming Proof of Life, and as we know, Crowe was always considered to be the bad boy type in Hollywood. Maybe that's why Meg was attracted to him. But really, the only person she should have had eyes on was her husband at the time, Dennis, seeing as they were married for a decade at that point. Meg ended up having an affair, hooking up with Russell through filming time, and the scandal spread like wildfire. She was painted all over the media as a cheater, but she still claims the story was never told right. It's been said that Dennis had cheated on her many times, and they were already having issues when she started to film. The love affair between Meg and Russell didn't last long, and I don't think it's fair to just blame the movie for this. I'm looking at you, Meg. Coming in at number 4 is Titanic. At the time the iconic movie was being filmed, the director James Cameron was married to the Terminator star Linda Hamilton, but a scandal occurred on the set of the movie, and surprisingly it didn't include the two main actors. The director and his wife were together for many years at the time, even though it was his third marriage at that point. News broke that he was having an affair with Susie Amos, and Linda up and left him. However, there was a period of time when Cameron went back to Linda, but it didn't last long, and he was once again back in the arms of his lover Susie. The two of them eventually got married, and it became his fourth and final marriage. Although one marriage was shattered, another one was gained, and it was one that lasted. James and Susie are still married to this day, at the time of this recording of course, and they have 3 children together. Linda once opened up about it and confirmed that he wasn't actually cheating on her. She said, I quote, "Titanic was the most painful thing in the world, but this wasn't because Jim was cheating on me. Jim went off with Susie because we were taking a break from each other, and he was free to go with her. It was a painful time because we'd had a relationship where I'd push him away, then he'd push me away. Frankly, most of our relationship was us taking a big break." Well, there you have it folks, straight from the horse's mouth, he is not a cheater. Alright guys, at number 3 is Daredevil. So when Daredevil was filming, both Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck were in committed relationships. This was the time when Ben was with J-Lo and Jennifer had a long-term relationship with Scott Foley. Neither of the actors have admitted to hooking up on set, but comments have been made by Ben, who later said he fell in love with Garner while working with her on the movie. His exact words were, I quote, "That's where I found my wife. We met on Pearl Harbor, which people hate, but we fell in love on Daredevil." They may have fallen in love on set, but it did take a while for them to ever become an official item. It wasn't like this huge big love affair scandal, and it didn't seem to affect Ben and J-Lo because they were still together a year after the movie was filmed. A relationship that it did seem to affect was Jennifer and Scott's, who ended up splitting just 2 months after. It was only a matter of time before Ben and Garner got together though, 1 year later to be precise. I can hardly keep up with Ben's love life on this list. In spot number 2 is Mr. and Miss Smith. Many people will remember this movie as Happier Times because it's when Brangelina was born. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie met on the set of this movie and ended up becoming the golden couple of the century. Only downfall was that Brad was actually married to Jennifer Aniston at the time that all of this was going down. It was the big debate in Hollywood whether Brad was having an affair or not. Angelina and Brad both denied that they ever had an affair while he was still married, but that argument fell apart when she admitted during an interview that she couldn't wait for her children to be old enough to see the movie where she fell in love with their father. At that point, people were calling her a homewrecker, and everyone thought that Brad was a little scummy. When asked about the possible love affair later on, Jolie said, I quote, "It took until really the end of the shoot for us, I think, to realize that it might mean something more than we'd earlier allowed ourselves to believe, and both knowing that the reality of that was a big thing, something that was going to take a lot of serious consideration." Yeah, taking into consideration that he has a wife is definitely something serious. Taking the number 1 spot on our list is Snow White and the Huntsman. I feel like I've told this story a lot on our channel, but that's because it was so damn scandalous. This was the movie that shattered the hearts of Twilight fans because it introduced Twilight actress Kristen Stewart to the director Rupert Sanders. At the time she was filming this movie, she was dating her Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson. Fans were shipping hard for them for years, so when they finally got together, it was incredibly exciting. But all of that was ruined when images surfaced of Kristen and Rupert making out. Not only did this ruin the Twilight couple, but it also destroyed Rupert's relationship, who was married to the mother of his 2 children. This one is a double whammy. Both relationships shattered, and although we blame the 2 people involved, we can't help but realize that if they didn't work on this movie together, it probably wouldn't have happened. Well, there's our list for today, you guys. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed it, and share your thoughts with me down in the comments. For now, let's finish off this video by doing some comment shoutouts from my last video, Top 10 Disney Actors Who Hate Each Other. Tony Howell says, I love your content and enjoy watching you all so much. Makes me proud to be an Ontarian. That is the cutest thing ever. I was actually born and raised in Windsor, Ontario, so I've always been an Ontarian. Jocelyn Leslard says, yo, when can I meet a Jocelyn with an E? Honestly, I have always wanted to meet one. I used to spell my name Jocelynne in high school because I liked it so much better. Death Shock says, is Demi still in rehab? No, I don't think so. As of right now, she is out and doing well. Mark D says, why does Miley Cyrus even bother wearing clothes? 99% of the time she's permanently naked. Honestly, she's probably wearing clothes because she legally has to. I think if she could, she'd probably just walk around naked all the time. Alright, we are at the end here. Spread the love and subscribe before you go, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss another video. I'm your host Joss, and I will see you next time.